What a game. The Red River rivalry always gives us a really special game, but this year's iteration was something to behold. The Texas Longhorns jumping out to an early lead to the tune of 28-7, but Oklahoma never gave up, and in the end, a storybook ending of the backup quarterback coming in and triumphing is one that we need to talk about. Before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I want to hear from you. Hop down to the comments. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Are you surprised at how this game went down? And let me know, what are your biggest takeaways from today? Can't wait to hear what y'all are thinking because that was a incredibly exciting game. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed this content, be sure to like and comment down below. Those interactions, though small, are massive to content creators such as myself. And what a game this is, so let's get right into it. The Texas Longhorns came out and had just about as good of a start as you could possibly want. Everything that went their way. But Oklahoma never gave up, even when it was looking really, really bleak. And through the first half, everything went Texas's way. Every time Oklahoma would get a chunk play, Texas would answer with one of their own. But it was really the tale of two halves, because the first half, it was all Longhorns, but the second half, the Oklahoma Sooners absolutely dominated. And one storyline that we will be talking about for quite some time revolving this game is the quarterback switch Lincoln Riley pulled off, bringing in true freshman Caleb Williams, the five-star quarterback from last year's recruiting cycle, into this game and watching him prevail. Caleb Williams was successful through the air and on the ground. Through the air, going 16 of 25 for 212 yards, averaging 8.5 yards per attempt with 2 touchdowns, but also on the ground, making his presence known. On the ground, he had 4 rushes for 88 yards, averaging 22 per, with 1 touchdown, and that touchdown run, I feel like, really set the tone for what he was able to do for the Sooners offense thereafter. The offense undoubtedly responded to Caleb Williams, and Spencer Rattler really struggled, going 8 of 15, 111 yards, 7.4 yards per, and an interception, plus a fumble. It's really interesting, and it's going to be something we have to keep up with what happens going forward. Because this is an intense game. This is a huge game. Your backup quarterback just came in there and gave a heroic performance, an all-time performance in a game that we will be talking about for years. That has to mean something. So the quarterback dynamic at Oklahoma going forward is going to be something we have to watch, because the team as a whole really came alive with Caleb Williams. And it's not just about Caleb Williams. If we're looking at other Oklahoma players, Kennedy Brooks had himself a day. 25 carries, 217 yards, 8.7 yards per, 2 touchdowns with the game winner in a long of 65. He made his presence felt. But the Oklahoma rushing attack was deadly top to bottom. 41 attempts, 339 yards, and they averaged 8.3 yards per carry. If you're allowing an offense to average almost a first down every time they run the ball, you're going to have a very tough time stopping that team. And that's what's so interesting and why I brought up, this was really the tale of two halves. Everything went Texas's way in the first half, but Oklahoma really came out with the better adjustments, and things just went their way after halftime. Another Oklahoma Sooners player whose presence was felt in a major way today was Marvin Mims. 5 receptions, 136 yards, averaging 27.2 with 2 touchdowns, and an absolutely acrobatic catch that was spectacular to see to get Oklahoma right back in this game. The Marvin Mims-Caleb Williams connection looked like one that had been a long time in the making, and it's really intriguing to see that this was Caleb Williams' first start, and he already had that type of connection with that wide receiver. Oklahoma's defense really did their part in the second half as well, because Casey Thompson and Texas's offense had their number in the first half. Bijan had himself a day. 20 carries, 137 yards, averaging almost 7 yards per with 1 touchdown. He showed why he's so special. He broke tackle after tackle after tackle and was really a thorn in the side of Oklahoma's defense. But throughout the stretch of the game, as Texas had to rely on more things, problems started to come, and Oklahoma ultimately found their pass rush getting home on Casey Thompson. Nick Bonito continues to be a dominating force within the Big 12 and really within college football. This game always brings about fireworks. I feel like it's always one of the more difficult games to pin down what we expect will happen because of the rivalry nature of this game and just the way this game always happens. But this year's iteration was something special. From the miscues to the way things happened, this is a game we will be talking about for some time. Steve Sarkisian had a 21-point lead, and yet Oklahoma ended up getting the better of them. In a game that if I would have polled random fans at halftime who was going to win this game, I think 99 to 98% of the answers would have been the Texas Longhorns based off of the first half. But now Oklahoma moves forward after this game, still undefeated, getting another Big 12 win against an opponent that was undefeated in Big 12 play, and handing the Texas Longhorns their second loss. And remember, even though both of these teams are moving to the SEC together and they'll be keeping this rivalry alive and well, which is ultimately good for college football, this is something that's interesting because this might be the last time we see this rivalry in the Big 12. And this might be the last time we see this rivalry decide so much for the Big 12 championship. Because this game was big in who's going to make the Big 12 championship. It's going to be a big piece in that conversation. I think one of the things most people are going to be asking moving forward past this game is, what does Lincoln Riley do at the quarterback position? Because this isn't the same as last year where he pulled Spencer Rattler to send a message, but ultimately putting him back in and Spencer going out and winning the game. In this iteration, he pulled Spencer Rattler, and the five-star freshman, who, by the way, Oklahoma fans were just clamoring for a few weeks ago, chanting, "We want to see Caleb," comes in and wins this game. And even more than that, the way the team responded to him and the way his skill set really allowed Oklahoma's offense to open up, this is going to be something we have got to keep an eye on, because we might have just uncovered drama in the Oklahoma Sooners. Hop down to the comments. Let me know, do you think Caleb Williams just won the starting quarterback position at Oklahoma? Let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.